Business has been getting a bad name for itself lately. Opinion pollsters mention the word business and they get back words like unethical, unscrupulous, fraudulent. In too many companies today, the biggest concern is not productivity and profits, it's prosecution. There are many business people whose days are filled with answering questions, dealing with investigators, producing documents and other evidence, conferring with defense lawyers, giving depositions, testifying under oath, and facing the cameras and notepads of the media and the indignation of shareholders. To turn this around, it's imperative that you, your company, and everyone in your industry make the first order of business doing the right thing. Former Attorney General of the United States, the Honorable Dick Thornburgh.
There are 17,000 public companies in the United States. Scandal has rocked only some of them. But those scandals show the damage that can be caused when some people in some of those companies do the wrong thing. Because of them, regulators, investigators, and prosecutors are threatening action. Everyone from members of Congress and the President of the United States to leaders of the global economic community have called for tougher U.S. laws, stricter enforcement, and heavier penalties. You need to understand the policies and procedures your company already has in place to keep operations proper and legal. And you need to be more aware than ever of what your company expects of all of its employees with regard to ethical decision-making and legal compliance. As someone who has prosecuted and convicted my share of white-collar criminals, I've been asked to review with you some of today's ethical hotspots. All business is done with documents. That's why when trouble starts, you hear a lot about document search and discovery. During investigations and litigation, you may be required to retain and preserve paper documents, computer files, and other records. But some people rush to do the opposite, like this worker, panicked by an impending investigation.
Look, I just want these destroyed and destroyed quickly, Alice, before we're in the soup.
A few days later, he was notified to stop document destruction in accord with the company's document retention policy. He kept right on shredding.
Throw this in the mulcher, too.
Later, when they found gaps in the files, investigators shifted from the initial allegations to questions about destruction of evidence. What documents were missing? When had they been destroyed? And why?
We were thinning out the files to make more space.
Each violation led to another.
I'm sorry, but they're gone.
Now he really had something to panic about. People who destroy documents that may be needed as evidence, or conceal records required by a court, or lie to investigators, may face charges of obstruction of justice. Be sure you understand and comply with your company's policies and instructions for document retention. Our economic system demands accurate accounting and reliable reporting of results. Problems in financial reporting may end up being major violations, but often they start small, with improper handling of expense accounts and other everyday record keeping.
I need to boost my results for this quarter. Couldn't you
Just let
specify?
me file a revised bid and post-date it to the close of business on Friday.
What you and I need to work out is a rationale that will make these charges allowable under
We'll
the contract.
alter the time cards and charge this redesign off to shop overtime. All you have to do is
fix it so we don't get hung up by this hazardous waste reduction goal.
Every one of those is a violation of some law, general principle, contractual agreement, or company policy. It should go without saying, your company expects its financial reports, timesheets, quality records, and other accounts to be honest and accurate. There's the always explosive problem of competition and antitrust compliance. Competitors get together in a hotel room, at a sporting event, in a bar, on the phone, on the net.
How long do you think?
Next thing you know, mutual understandings are being agreed on, and there's a violation.
If I win,
I'll give you guys a piece of the action. You win, you give me a piece of the action.
We'll cut back if you'll cut back.
If they do, you'll raise to what, 10.5?
Within 5 days.
All right, I'll spread the contracts evenly among you, split the pie into 3 equal pieces, and everybody gets a turn.
If anyone breaks with the rest of us in any one of these points, we'll simply price them out of the market.
Are you people going to get in step with what's best for the industry, or are you going to be jerks again?
In the eyes of your company, antitrust violations are a totally unacceptable way of doing business. Competition is the heart of free enterprise. Anti-competitive behavior undermines our whole system, injures your customers and your company, and costs our economy billions of dollars a year. Corporate fines now reach hundreds of millions of dollars, and they're going higher. Civil damage awards are more than most companies earned not so many years ago. Jail terms are being imposed, and around the world, nations are working together to target antitrust in global business. You know the rules. Do things by the book, and you won't end up getting the book thrown at you. Stock trades based on insider information are another source of bad news. For example, at a trade exhibit, a sales rep pulls a major customer to the back of the booth.
I just want to thank you for the PO for the 1,000 units. Oh, and by the way, I wouldn't tell this to anybody else. I'm not even supposed to know it myself. We're about to acquire our second largest competitor. Next week, when the market gets the news, our stock is going to go to 70 plus.
Passing even one tip about what you, as a privileged insider, know about the prospects of your company's stock violates SEC regulations about insider trading. Privileged inside information like this must be kept inside the walls of the company. Procurement and contracting procedures require a commitment to ethical standards for buyers and bidders. Because making bids, buying decisions, and contract awards offer so many inducements to act improperly on both sides.
We're catering a little get-together tonight at the company box in the arena. It's going to be a great playoff game. Food, drinks. Can you make it?
If you offer gifts, entertainment, or favors in the course of getting business, if you accept these inducements, or if you observe and go along with them, you're on the slippery slope from business courtesy to bribery. The consequences may include discipline, dismissal, debarment from bidding, and even criminal prosecution. Defrauding the government and conflicts of interest in government contracts are bad news, and they're frequently in the news.
We had been bidding on bulk sales to military bases. Our bids misrepresented the product. We lied on government bids.
That's defrauding the government. And since bids containing misrepresentations were submitted by mail, fax, and email, mail fraud and wire fraud.
Bill, you ever think about leaving here or retiring? I want you to know that we can make a spot for you. Maybe a long-term consulting retainer or a staff job. No heavy lifting. A couple days a week. Be worth it to us to have your knowledge in-house when we're writing proposals to this outfit. So don't worry about the future. Your future is us.
That's bribery, conflict of interest, and a violation of the government's policy forbidding so-called revolving door employment offers. Bribery and other conflicts of interest have no place in an honest procurement and bidding process. Intellectual property is a valuable company asset. Legal protection for intellectual property rights is strict. Violating rights to proprietary data, formulas, inventions, plans and designs, and other company secrets can bring serious consequences. For example, a job applicant offers an interviewer a special and illegal inducement to choose him.
When you hire me, you get everything in my brain, years of experience, and everything in my briefcase, starting with secret formulas for your competition's 5 main products.
That's theft of intellectual property. And depending upon how the interviewer responds, it could be receiving stolen intellectual property. Actions like these violate laws against unauthorized disclosure of confidential information and trade secrets, misuse of corporate or government secrets, and access to or removal of restricted files in a secure computer system. Bribery, direct or indirect, and deceptive bookkeeping are two of the main targets of the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act. Here's just one example. Your management asked you to acquire a concession in a third world country. A meeting is arranged at the Executive Palace with the President of the country. In private, his Chief of Staff advises that to be given top consideration for the concession, your company should invest in a particular land development. He introduces the head of the development, who happens to be the President's brother-in-law. He suggests an investment of $500,000. The investment is paid. Within days, the concession is awarded to your firm. Bribery? It will certainly sound that way to a U.S. prosecutor. When you represent an American company anywhere, you carry something along with your bags and business plans. The laws governing the way U.S. companies conduct themselves, including the Foreign Corrupt Practices Act, prohibiting bribes, kickbacks, and other payoffs to foreign officials to gain any improper advantage. Due to misunderstandings about environmental protection laws, employees at many companies continue to commit a shocking number of violations and continue to be shocked at the prosecutions and litigation that results. A plant's smokestack scrubbers went down during the night shift. The question was whether to shut down or keep operating and vent untreated effluent into the air. The night supervisor had to make the call.
I figured, what the heck, just keep operating and hold till midnight and then let it rip. By morning it would be miles out to sea.
That incident was just one item on a long list of offenses. Illegal discharges of toxic effluent, altering records, and withholding reports. The court-ordered cleanup cost millions of dollars, and there were civil and criminal fines against the company and individual employees. Our laws require equal job opportunity, fair employment practices, safe work environments, and freedom from discrimination for every worker. Sexual harassment in the workplace is one of the persistent discrimination issues, as you can hear in this call to a human resources hotline.
I don't want to be the one to call, don't want to get anyone in trouble, but every time this girl, Debbie, comes to the area, one of the guys makes some kind of sexual remark, you know. They're just kidding around, but she's not laughing. Tells them they're out of line, cut it out.
With sexual harassment and other discrimination complaints, a company is looking at fines and civil damages, lawsuits, and a lot of attention from the media. There's a huge and growing body of laws governing workplace behavior, employee relations, hiring, firing, advancement, workplace accessibility, and so on. Issues like sexual harassment are really a matter of fair play. Someone like Debbie shouldn't have to put up with this kind of abuse from her co-workers. Would you put up with it? Would you stand by and let someone else put up with it? Your company is certainly not going to put up with it. If you know of a problem, report it immediately. Action will be taken. Electronic information systems make things easy that were virtually impossible a few years ago, including violations of law, unauthorized copying of proprietary software, or use of copyright-protected text files and other materials is illegal. Everyone does it, you say? But it is a violation of law. People who misuse company networks to get access to private credit records or personnel data face stiff penalties. These are just a few of the serious violations that arise from the abuse of information systems. What we're talking about here goes beyond breaking rules, and that's bad enough. We're talking about breaking the law. These are not all the issues in your company's code of ethics or legal compliance manual, but they're some of the areas of high risk. What does your company expect of you in regard to this moral and legal minefield? 1, know the laws and company policies regulating your business actions. 2, be alert to practices which may be questionable, unethical, or out and out illegal. If you see or are asked to do anything that you think is improper, Report it to the appropriate person in the organization in accordance with company policy. And most important, 3, do the right thing yourself. Perform your own job legally and ethically. I've had enough experience in the business world to know how things look from where you sit. The pressure to show results, shave costs, compete, get the job done, advance your career. But I also know how things look from where a prosecutor sits. In cases of non-compliance, law enforcement officers don't see misguided business people. They see perpetrators, violators, conspirators, and they work hard to investigate them, indict them, and convict them. How do people who become targets for prosecution feel about what they did and what happened to them and their companies as a result? Especially those who had to plead guilty or were convicted and sentenced? Here's what a few of them have to say.
You hear about White Collar Country Club. Soft time. I wish.
Served 27 months. No parole, no alternative sentence, plus probation, community service, fines.
It still hurts to relive some of the things I did. The people, the places, that feeling when my life came apart. I ruined my life. Other lives.
Today, the massive investigative resources of white-collar crime agencies are being beefed up even further. New penalties are being added and will continue to be added to the already tough ones in place. If everyone will follow their own best instincts, do their own jobs ethically and legally, businesses and business people will be known for what the vast majority truly are: honest, productive, constructive, competent, and deserving of the country's trust.